Right. Welcome. We're gonna get right into the Zohar. So come on in. We're gonna get started. Welcome to those who are just joining us. It's a brand new week. Yes, welcome back. Very good. We are going to get into the Zohar, and it's gonna be something of a transformative experience if God wills. Welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Do you know that Tuesday is Devil's Day in astrology? Why is that the case? So Rabbi Eliezer of Worms answers that, yeah, you guys didn't think I was going to start off the class like this. Welcome, Hope. One of our first white belt student members, welcome, who purchased the white belt starter kit. We have two who just joined us this week. Welcome. I highly advise that everybody follows in Hope's footsteps and joins as well. Also, so why is Tuesday Devil's Day according to Kabbalah? So Rabbi Eliezer Rokeach basically points out that Samach Mem, Samael, is the name of the devil according to Jewish tradition. And actually, the Arizal says that we're not supposed to say it, so oops. So we're not really supposed to say it. But if you accidentally do, don't tell anybody. But there is some people who say that if you say these names too much, they could possibly hurt you. Although I doubt it, and there are many rational scholars later, like Maimonides, a very famous scholar, who came in and said that the demons cannot hurt us today. Very well. So tonight's class is Introduction to the Zohar. We're going to continue right where we left off yesterday. So with your permission, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to delve into the Zohar and uncover the secrets that lay within. Before we begin, where's everybody dialing in from? New York, Florida, East Coast, West Coast, out of the country. And then we have some international peeps. I see SC. What's that? What is that? One of the states, right? Yeah, as you could tell, I'm a pro at geography. I know all my states so well. What's SC? Sacramento City. No, it's a city in California. What am I talking about? I'm gonna stick to Kabbalah. How about that? I'll make a deal with a geographer or one of the state guys. I'll be like, you stay with the states, I'll stay with the Kabbalah. How about that? Okay, so let's begin. Forgive me for my laptop. It's booting up. I'm just gonna boot up the laptop so that I can have the Zohar over here. And then we're going to get started. We're going to do a nice, insight from the Zohar, improve our lives, and then go about with our Tuesday. So while I'm booting up the Zohar, I'll just continue on that thought with Eliezer Rokeach, who said that the reason why Tuesday is Samach Mem Day. So for the astrology crowd, I know that some of you guys love astrology, and there is in the Jewish tradition as well various sources to bring this out. Like Eliezer Rokeach of Worms is one of these guys. Really amazing work that he produced in the 13th century that deals with the zodiac signs. Okay? So it's very exciting stuff. That's all the good stuff that we have going on in KU. So we take questions at the end, by the way. So if you wait till 5:30 or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, That's when, or even a few minutes, 3 minutes prior to that, so it'd be really 8:27. That's when we take our questions. Although you could always try to sneak it in if it's really quick. Zodiac signs are rooted in the tradition, yeah. Zodiac signs, so really is the rokeach of worms, and a few scholars. I'm not saying that every fortune teller is legit, probably not, and you need to be careful about who you go to because there's also a warning that some of them, depending on who you go to, they could either make your fortune better or worse. Some fortune tellers you go to, they make your fortune better, and some they make your fortune worse. In fact, most of the ones that you'll find, like randomly, are probably closer to the second. I'm just being realistic with you guys. You know, I would never lie to you. I'll tell you the truth. A lot of these street corner psychics, you gotta avoid them. I'm always gonna tell it to you as it is. Maybe there's a few psychics that are like really 5 stars on Google Maps with 1,000 reviews, or 4.9 stars. 5 is too suspicious. That's too good. But like 4.9 stars. There are some who are really good, but most of them are probably less than good. With the zodiacs, there is a portion that deals with the zodiac literature. Like really is the Rokeach of Worms is one of the major figures that we keep coming back to tonight. He, in relation to the Zohar, which is 12th century, he's 1 century after the Zohar. So last time we did Zohar introduction 1 through 6. So we're going to continue with Zohar introduction 7, right? Because we go on to the next one. Simple enough. So last time, all the letters came before God and said, please make me the first letter that the Torah begins with. Please make me the first letter that the Torah begins with. And then every letter comes from Teth, Taf, all the way back to Aleph. Comes before God and asks God, can you put me as the letter that is the first letter of the Torah? And one by one, God has to tell each letter the reason why he is not going to have them as the first letter. Welcome to those who are just joining. And then he goes on to explain why Beis is going to be the first letter that the Bible is going to incorporate. That's why Genesis 1:1. So, but guys, why does Genesis 1:1 start off Bereshit bara Elokim? That in the beginning God created. Why does Genesis 1:1 start off in the beginning, which Hebrew is Bereshit with the base? The answer is the Zohar explains to us because all the letters came in front of Hashem, and one by one he told them, "Not today. I'm saving this for Beis." Because Beis starts with brachot, blessings. Okay. Do you guys understand? Just to recap. Zohar Introduction 6. All the letters come in front of God. Now, moving forward in the material. learning about Zohar, the 12th century, right, with the AI assistants there. So now Zohar introduction chapter 7. Who's ready? Gracious Rabbi Yedeya. Gracious in the beginning. Why does it start gracious in the beginning? Because Rabbi Yehuda said, what is the meaning of Bereshit? It means with wisdom, the wisdom on which the world is based. And through this, it introduces us to deep mysteries. So, why does Genesis start off? Genesis, Bereshit. So Yehuda answers, because what's the meaning of Bereshit? It means with wisdom, the wisdom on which the world is based. And through this, it introduces us to deep and recondite mysteries. In it, too, is the inscription of 6 chief supernal directions. The 6 chief supernal directions, out of which there issues the totality of existence. Welcome, Shlomo. We're learning Zohar Introduction 7. So, what's the meaning of Bereshit? It means with wisdom. The wisdom on which the world is based, and through this it introduces us to deep and recondite mysteries in it too. And that's why we have a structured ladder full of wisdom here at KU. So we take students from white belt all the way through yellow and blue and green, all the way to where they're leaders themselves, right? We take leaders all the way from white belt to black belt level in KU. Now, Bereshit in the beginning, so it says Yehuda, what's the meaning of Bereshit? It means with wisdom, the wisdom on which the world is based, and through this it introduces us to deeper and recondite mysteries. In it too is the inscription of the 6 supernal directions, out of which there issues the totality of existence. From the same time, there go 6 sources of rivers which flow out into the great sea. This is implied in the word Bereshit, which can be analyzed into bara sheet. He created 6. And who created them? The mysterious unknown. Who created them? Mysterious unknown. Okay, everyone ready for introduction chapter 8? One second. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol niyeh bidbaro. So, Rabbi Chia in the Zohar and Rabbi Yossi were walking. I'll tell you a story. They were walking along the road when they reached the open country. Okay, that's how it starts. So let's start the story. So we have, who do we have? Rabbi Chia and Rabbi Yossi. What are they doing? They're walking along the road when they reached the open country. Rabbi Chia said to Rabbi Yossi, what you said about Bereshit, signifying bara. Bereshit is certainly correct, since the Torah speaks of 6 primordial days and not more. Shalom. Welcome, Abishai. Zohar Introduction 7. Ruchi and Rav Yossi were walking along the road when they reached the open country. Ruchi said to Rav Yossi, what you said about Bereshit, signifying Bereshit, is certainly correct, since the Torah speaks of 6 primordial days and not more. The others are hinted at, but not disclosed. So again, let's understand what this means. So Yechia approaches with Yossi and he says, what you said about Bereshit, right? Because we split Bereshit into 2 words, bara and shis. Bara is built, and shis is 6. So he built 6. He created 6. So this is certainly great, certainly correct, since the Torah speaks of 6 days, right? And then God rests on the 7th. Very good. So the others are hinted at, but not disclosed. Nevertheless, from what is told us, we can perceive the following. The Holy and Mysterious One. What did he do? He graved in a hidden recess, one point from which all of creation can spring from, in that he enclosed the whole of creation as one who locks up all of his treasures in a palace under one key, which is therefore as valuable as all that is stored up in that palace, for it is the key which shuts and opens. So, but he said there was a delay in the feed. Is there still a delay? I'm going to continue, otherwise let me know how it is, guys. So, Bahu Hilcha Ace Bay Genizan Sasiman. So in that place, in that palace, there are hidden treasures, one greater than the other. The palace is provided with 50 mystic gates. They are inserted in its 4 sides to the number of 49. The one remaining gate is on none of its sides, unknown whether it is on high or below. It is hence called the mysterious gate. Now, all the gates have one lock, and there is one tiny spot for the insertion of the key, which is only marked by the impress of the key. It is in this mystery, which is implied in the words that in the beginning created God, in the beginning Bereshit. This is the key which encloses the whole and which shuts and opens. 6 gates relating to the 6 days of creation before God rested, right? Because on the 7th day he rested. This is the key which encloses the whole and which shuts and opens. 6 gates are controlled by this key which opens and shuts. At first it is kept the gates closed and impenetrable. This is indicated by the word Beresu, which is composed of revealing word, sheet, with the concealing word bara, sheet, Bereshit. Welcome, Jonah, which means whale, which is a completely other book that we're going to get to later. Also part of the canonical Jewish literature.
right? Because we had Tanakh. Tanakh has 24 books. Torah, Nevi'im, and Kesuvim. So 5 books of Moses, the 12 Nevi'im, and the 12, Kesuvim writings. So you have 24 and 5 of Moses. All these gates have one lock, and the Zohar introduction 8 continues. All these gates have one lock, and there's one tiny spot for the insertion of the key, which is only marked by the impress of the key. It is this mystery which is implied in the words. In the beginning created God. In the beginning, gracious, this is the key. This is the key. Indicated. So what does this key do? So this is the key, which encloses the hole and which shuts and opens. 6 gates are controlled by this key which opens and shuts. At first it has kept the gates closed and impenetrable. This is indicated by the word Bereshit, which is composed of a revealing word and a concealing word. Bara is always a word of mystery, closing and not opening. So that's Zohar introduction, chapter 8. So first of all, let's pat ourselves on the back right there. Yeah, we finished the whole... It's definitely time for a mini celebration. We finished the entire 8 introductions to the Zohar so far. Okay, which is really, really good. Each introduction is like a whole chapter. Okay. Somebody's sending me an invite for a team match. Do you guys think I should accept the team match? No, because that will derail us from the lecture. But I would love to hear in the comments if later you want me to, later on, if you guys want me to accept battles and stuff like that. I'm curious to hear from you guys what you guys think. Always, of course. Now, later, not during the class, because I want to continue on the Zohar, of course. Only so I could get as much material as possible over to you guys in each class. That's the goal. So the more I can stay on track in the Zohar, the more information I'm able to deliver to you. And that's the more of a win, right? Although, if we walk away with knowledge, then that's always a win. Now, oh, we have our Mr. Isaiah friend. Oh, here we go. So, yeah. Oh, and we have a 2-for-1 special. Okay. Introduction, chapter 9. So, now that we finished 8, we're able to move on to 9. So this is really good news. Amar Rabbi Yossi, Hachi hu. So says Rabbi Yossi, assuredly it is so. And I've heard the sacred lamp say the same thing, to wit, that bara is a term of mystery, a lock without a key. And as long as the world was locked within the term bara, it was not in a state of being or existence. Over the whole, there hovered tohu, chaos. And as long as tohu dominated the world was not in being or existence. So this is in Lurianic Kabbalah, this is the primordial stage before earth existed. There was darkness covered the surface of the depth, right? Like in Genesis 1-2. And then God said, let there be light. And then we had the first appearance of God creating light shortly thereafter. Okay. Welcome to those who are just joining. So Rabbi Yossi says, assuredly this is so. And I heard the sacred lamp say the same, to wit, that bara is a term of mystery, a lock without a key. And as long as the world was locked within the term bara, it was not in a state of being or existence. So we see that it's a pre-Lurianic state. So as promised, it is 5:28, so I did promise that I would give a few minutes for questions. So now is the time for those questions to commence. And we'll see what is put in front of us. To life. Oh, okay. 1 second. Here we go. So, I didn't really see, because my phone is all the way over here, but did somebody say something? Let me scroll. Okay, great. So if nobody has any questions, I'm assuming that the material just landed just so well that just nobody has questions. So that's good. That's actually perfect. So I could just make a clean getaway then. So I could just make a clean getaway, and yeah, we'll tell everybody to come back for class tomorrow at the same time and to join our cohort. We have an awesome cohort that is starting up right now, limited seats, and you get all sorts of amazing perks like one-on-one guidance and being a part of the circle. So come join us, and I will see everybody at the same time tomorrow, as usual. I mean, I'm assuming that we're acclimating to the KU schedule. I would love to hear from you guys as well. I've been hearing from a lot of the students, so I would love to hear also about how you guys are acclimating to the set schedule, which is Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.